Hey, this is Mark at the Michigan Comic-Con. I'm here with Jim Swearingen. He's the gentleman who helped spearhead the Star Wars toy movement in the 1970s, who worked with Kenner. Tell me, so what was it like when you first went to Lucasfilm and got the idea to make these toys?
Well, I was a fan from THX 1138, so I knew a little bit of what George had done, and American Graffiti had already been out. So when I found out that they were working on Star Wars, when I read a magazine, it was like when the script came in, it was like, that's my baby. I just got to do this. So it was really great fun.
So when you first went in there and looked at what they were doing, you saw them making the movie. What went through your head?
Well, the very first view I got to see was very limited. I got to see X-Wings and TIE Fighters on model stands, but my first experience of actually seeing any of the movie was just a black screen with some blinking lights on it for dailies. But I got to see the first showing in May 1st of '77, and from then on I was over the moon. I guess that's an expression that. So it was just incredible to see that first showing.
Being one of the kids of that era that got to buy these toys when they first came out, I was always wondering who decided which action figures they were going to make first.
Well, on the very first ones, it was almost up to me, because I was the only one that was doing any back and forth with Lucasfilm. So I kind of picked the ones I liked the most. They were some of them were just natural. Luke and Leia, C-3PO and R2-D2, all those. Eventually, we did the first 11, and then they added the Death Squad commander, the guy with the black helmet, was added later, once it was all turned over to production design. But I got to it was pretty obvious what the first figures had to be.
Now, why wasn't there ever a Grand Moff Tarkin action figure in that first line of Star Wars toys?
Oh, you asked that. As a designer, I get to blame that on somebody else, because it's always the question, why didn't they do this figure? And whenever I'm asked that question, that's marketing's fault. Because the marketing, after we got started, the marketing managers made all those decisions.
So how long were you involved with Kenner through this whole Star Wars run?
On Star Wars, I was involved from the very beginning, which was around January of 1977, and I was really intimately involved until April and May, when it was really pretty much a preliminary design project. But until they really got going and people started seeing the vision, it was really probably my baby for a couple months, where I was the only one, kind of directing things, which was pretty exciting for a designer.
Now, I read somewhere that you wish you would have asked for a job at Lucasfilm. Well, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, between the two movies, we were going to do a promotional figure. We were going to do Boba Fett. So this is going to be top secret kind of hush-hush stuff. So Dave Okada, my boss, and I went out to Lucasfilm's. I had an hour alone with George Lucas in his office, and we were talking about, he had a Frank Frazetta painting on his wall, and I've got that poster in my office. Well, I most regretted the fact that I had an hour alone with him, and I didn't ask him for a job. I didn't say, you need a toy designer working here with your guys, It all worked out fine. I went back home and built my first Boba Fett prototype, and that all got turned over and stuff. And then 1979, I went to the dark side. I became a product manager and switched completely. So I ended up doing 5 years with Strawberry Shortcake. So complete shift from boys' action figures to little fantasy dolls for girls. So I've had a very varied career, so it's been a lot of fun.